you blame feminism, which by default you blame women.
So if men and
women are in the workplaces,
men and women are so ideologically split on like almost as like a 60-20 playing field, you don't think that's pertinent to dating?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you blame feminism for the downfall of society.
I did not just feminism.
Okay.
Yeah. But I do blame feminists for their part of the downfall of society, yeah.
Including going to work, including going to college, including all that stuff.
No, the idea of separating mothers from children. That was the worst thing
by going to work and going to college and...
That's a terrible idea.
Right.
Don't you think it's a better... Well, like, why is it a better idea for you to send your kid away from you to like a fucking nanny or something to raise the kid instead of you? How's that better?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Move on?
You don't know.
Well, you can. Do you want to give a response before
No, because it's not fucking better, is it?
I'm not going to get into that.
Yeah, because it's not better, is it?
I'm just not going to get into it.
Yeah, because is it better though? Is it better?
Into it.
Is it better to send your kid off to fucking Consuela?
Who knows? Maybe it's better for that family. I have no idea. You're making these big, broad generalizations about how life should be lived. I just want to know. Do you maybe for some families,
do you think on average that it would be better if mothers raise their children or outsource the raising of their children?
They're not outsourcing it. Maybe it's for part of the day, Andrew. That's
outsourcing it.
That's not outsourcing it because there's still the rest of the day.
Okay. So how much time on average is it that you think that mothers are spending with their children in comparison to how much they used to spend with their children before they were in the workforce?
I have no idea.
You don't know?
No.
What about throwing one of those numbers out? What would you think? Well, how about this? We'll just make it easy. More or less?
Less.
Less.
Right.
They're spending less time with them now.
Right.
Do you think that that's good?
I think each individual family has their own.
Do you think that that's good?
I think each individual family has their own.
Do you think it's good for society?
Sure.
Mothers are spending less. You think?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Well, we'll come back to that. We do need to let a couple chats come through. We have quite a few who've collected. So we have Nasha Nabu. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Nashu Nabu donated $200. The lead attorney, a divorce attorney, speaks on why men do not fight for their kids. Judges go off precedent. Because of this, lawyers tell fathers not to fight for their kids because they'll lose.
You know, I don't even want to grant that. Like, I don't even think you need to grant it. If the idea is just that women are completely in charge of all reproductive rights, period, and you can't justify why men need to take care of their fucking kids, then who gives a shit?
If I can respond to that.
Quick response if you can.
Yeah, the majority of fathers that do contest tend to get their child, at least in modern times.
Okay. Nashu, appreciate that. We have... Son coming in, thank you.
Srulofson donated $100.
Thank you.
This guy is a hypocrite. Critiquing Andrew for pushing a worldview when he does himself. This guy can't make any prescriptive statements. He is a progressive feminist. This reduces to Emma preferences.
To my preferences.
Yeah, I came here to say let's try to get men and women dating again, but we ended up talking about single motherhood.
Okay, well let's get into that. Let's go
through the chats.
Let's get through a few more chats, but we can come back to it.
All right.
Son, appreciate that. We have Stream. Thank you, man.
Stream Rift donated $100. Women will lie, cheat, and steal to hurt a father by fighting over custody. The question shouldn't be why men don't fight for their kids, it's why do single moms make them fight to begin with?
If you care about your kids, you'll fight for them. I don't care.
Well, I don't
care the obstacles.
Because my opponent over here demonstrated it for you. Women should have the complete and total right over all men's children, including the right to kill them, and should be able to force them to pay support for those children long term, and can't even justify why. He can't even give us a single reason why.
I did give you a reason.
Okay, what?
If you have a child, you should take care of it.
Why?
That's the reason. Because you should.
Why?
Because you should.
Oh, because you should. Because you should. Because you
exactly.
should. You should give me $100.
Okay, well, I won't.
Yeah, but if you say but you should.
Okay, you should.
Yeah, but you should.
They should raise their children.
Yeah, but why?
They should fight for their children.
Why?
Because it's their child.
Why?
There doesn't need to be any more. That's a sentence.
You're just saying, dude. That doesn't say anything.
Yeah. Okay. It doesn't say anything.
It says nothing.
Fathers should just not take care of the children.
No, but here's the thing that's interesting, right? It's like you're doing everything to enable women to kill men's children.
I don't agree with that framing, but go for it.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Can men say anything about it?
Nope.
Well, then there's no framing here to disagree with.
Yeah, it's not killing.
Quick clarifying question for you, just because it's come up a couple times. Do you want to just state your quick position on abortion? Are you pro-choice?
I'm here to talk about I'm pro-choice, but I'm not here to talk about abortion.
We don't have to get into abortion. But
that's what always happens on this show. It's like we're here to talk about red pill manosphere, and we're talking about abortion. It's just really fascinating.
Well, hang on.
There's a bunch of different problems too.
Yeah, when you ask a bunch of different questions, and I test your logic, and it moves into that. What's unfair about that?
Well, it's because you lose the point of what we're here to talk about.
I'm not losing any points.
Yeah, you are. You lose the point of what we're talking about. This is why your debates take 5 hours. Is because you get into all these stupid little side arguments that don't go into what we talked about in our opening statement.
Let's do it this way. You ask a question, I ask a question. You answer, I answer. How's that? And then we can't deter it. You want to do it that way?
I'm following Brian's moderation.
I'm fine with that. If you guys want to go,
you want to do that?
Back and forth.
You think I'm trying to be evasive with you?
No, it's not about evasive. It's just that every time.
Or maybe you just want to filibuster.
I have nothing about filibustering. You're doing most of the talking.
Bro.
It's been pretty equal, I think.
Really?
It's been, yeah, you guys have both talked a good amount.
Okay.
All right, here, we got more chats, though, then we'll get into some of the debate stuff. We have Christopher. Thank you, Christopher. Appreciate it.
Christopher Scott donated $100.
Thank you, man.
Just because men don't file for custody doesn't mean they abandon their children. There could be an agreement outside of court for shared custody.
That's fair, but statistically, more men abandon the children than women.
Okay. We have Jason Cassell. Thank you, guys. By the way, if you want to get one in, streamlabs.com/whatever, we're doing $100 and up.
The thing is so funny about that is like, but you advocate for a society where the women own the children. So
I advocate for a society where women get to make the decision whether or not they have a child.
So they own the child.
No, they own their pregnancy.
Yeah, so they own the right over the life of the man's child, literally by that logic.
They own her pregnancy, and the father should take care of it after that.
But what if the man? But if the woman doesn't want to take care of it, she gets an out. If the father doesn't want to take care of it, he does not, right?
Correct.
So then the ownership of the child and life and death of the child and life and death of the father falls to the woman.
Okay, life's not fair, Andrew.
Yeah, so don't you think women have a greater responsibility here for reproduction than men?
I think women have a responsibility for their pregnancy, and then a father and mother have. Hold on, I'm talking. And then the father and the mother have a responsibility to raise the child.
Okay, that's not my question. Repeat my question.
Yeah, but that's my stance.
Repeat my question.
Yeah, but that's my stance.
Okay, so I'm going to ask the question again, then actually answer my question. Don't you think that if it is the case that you advocate that only women can have the right to terminate a pregnancy, and that only women can have the right to bring it to bear, and that affects the man's life, and it affects the child's life, but the sole decision is on her for reproduction, why doesn't she have a greater responsibility to who she fucking reproduces with? Why?
Because the other person was involved just as much.
I don't know what to fucking do with. It's fucking so stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid.
So way more. So she has way more privilege, right? Way more privilege.
So much privilege.
Yeah, way more privilege.
So much privilege.
But for some odd reason, no greater, no more, no, not even equal responsibility. Like, it's fucking wild to me.
Yeah.
So let me just make sure. Well, can you say it for me one more time? Say it for me one more time that women, right, even though they get to determine the pregnancy the entire time,
right,
have no greater duty or responsibility for who they reproduce with.
Correct.
Even though they're the gatekeepers of reproduction.
Because someone else was a part of that birth.
Even though they're gatekeepers of reproduction.
Gatekeeper, okay.
Well, literally.
Well, someone entered the gate, Andrew. Don't they have a responsibility?
No, they could just kill whoever came through. Whatever
they can.
The result of that, they can just
but someone walked through the fucking gate, right?
Yeah, how could... I don't know how you can possibly make this claim consistent for me. How do they not have a greater duty when they are the ones who can reproduce? Men can't reproduce.
They have the greater...
And they don't have the option of saying no afterwards.
They
Only
have
women.
The greater duty of the pregnancy. And then after that, the mother and the father should raise the child together. That's my stance.
Okay, well, let me ask you this.
No, we're moving on.
Do you think that in dating... No.
No, you...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do you think in dating, right, that it would be like a really big deterrent if I knew that if I had sex with a woman, even if I cared about her, right, and she got pregnant, that I would have zero choice over the health and welfare of my child, but she would have 100% of the choice over that?
Isn't that how it is today?
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
Yeah. So right now, today, don't you think that would act as a massive deterrent in dating, which is the thing you want men and women to do again?
What's changed about that? When hasn't that been the case? When's the last time that wasn't the case?
What? That women had...
The scenario.
Yeah, so before the 60s.
Okay, well, people were still dating, right?
Yeah, but don't you think that abortion had an arc where previous generations were not as accustomed to it as they are now, and before there wasn't that many people resisting it? And now many, many more. It's the age of the internet, right?
So you don't think men are dating because they're afraid women are going to abort their
I
child?
didn't say. Do you think any reason's a monolithic one?
Not necessarily, no.
Yeah. So I could have many reasons, right?
Yeah, but you're asking about this one in particular.
Yeah. So that's right. This one in particular. Do you think that would cause more incentive at least, for men to be very wary of the dating market if it is the case that women can have the choice over the reproduction of their child?
No, I don't.
Why?
Because it hasn't really changed that much since the 60s.
Bro. So I really don't understand this. Even if it is a case that boomers, right, who didn't really have to deal with this problem as much as it's done. I mean, it's casual now. It's casual. Like, do you think in the 60s and 70s that female comedians were televising their abortion like Sarah Silverman?
No, but you said it's more casual, right?
Yeah, their abortions are more casual.
And sex is more casual too?
Yes.
So that doesn't seem like much of a deterrent.
What do you mean?
Guys are still banging.
Sex?
Correct.
The sex isn't a deterrent.
The sex is, regardless of relationships, the sex is what causes the child, Andrew. The sex is what causes the child. So if more casual sex is happening, then it's not much of a deterrent.
If you're dating a woman, is that casual sex?
No, we're talking about sex.
I'm talking about dating. Say the word
it's
dating.
Obviously not. If people are having casual sex, I don't need to say shit.
Yeah.
If people are having more casual sex, then they're obviously not that deterred by the idea of this woman could terminate the pregnancy.
So I'm talking about dating. I asked you about that word, dating. You say casual sex, but then casual sex not dating, so that you shouldn't logically put that in. It makes no sense. So when we're talking about dating, do you think if you're dating a woman, right, that you would be deterred from dating the thing you want to do by the fact that she has complete and total control over reproduction?
No, because I don't think men are avoiding dating because they're like, oh man, she might abort my child.
But really? But I thought you just
so.
said that there was an uptick in casual sex.
There is.
Instead of dating?
Not instead of dating. I'm saying there's been casual sex for a long time.
So is dating up or down?
Dating is down.
Is casual sex up or down?
It's about the same as it was probably whenever we were in college.
No.
Okay.
No. Do you think that but even if that was the case, dating is down, casual sex the same? So that would still mean that people are having more casual sex than they're dating, right?
Yeah, but I don't think there's not dating because they're afraid they're going to have a child.
You don't even think it could be possibly a contributing factor?
No.
You wouldn't even grant a contributing factor?
No.
Okay. What about for the religious? Is it a contributing factor for them?
I think they're probably not having premarital sex to begin with.
No, dude. Just because you're religious, right? You can still give in to temptation, right?
Okay.
Don't you think that would be a deterrent?
I think they're more abstinent than a lot of secular people.
Sure. But wouldn't it be a deterrent?
No.
No. So
because I don't think a religious person would get an abortion. What the hell are you talking about?
Because you're religious, the person you're dating has to be?
I would imagine if you're dating a religious person, you're probably religious too.
No, that's not the case always, especially not for Christian men.
Okay.
They date secular women constantly.
Okay.
And it's a fear they talk about often. That, hey, if I slip up and she gets pregnant, she can actually just take out my kid. And there's nothing I can do about it.
I want to get
Which is why they date less and less secular women, trying to move more and more towards Christian women. Doesn't that lower the chance of dating? No, that doesn't? Okay.
I know you want to ask a question. We'll finish up the chats, and you can ask the question here. We have Jason Cassell. Really quick, Kai Baka. I don't know if you're still watching on Twitch. It won't let me trigger the gifted subs. I think you sent in 40 gifted subs on Twitch. Thank you so much, Kai Baka. Appreciate it. We have Jason here. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Jason Castle donated $100. To the feminist man. You may be one of the dumbest individuals to debate Andrew. You don't know what an ought is, you don't know what descriptors are, and you said F the logic. You are beyond dumb.
You did say fuck the logic.
I did. I absolutely did.
Why would you say fuck the logic?
Because that's not what I'm here to talk about. Well, I'm here to talk about that red pill people are not dating, and I don't think it's helping them. That's what I'm here to talk about.
Okay, it's, well...
Here, let's get through the chats just because we have quite a few. I'm going to have a smoke real quick. Okay. And let's see, we have Jason Cassell again here.
Jason Castle donated $100.
Andrew will be back.
To the dumb feminist man, the reason the feminism movement has gained the power it has is because of weak, dumb men like you. Way to go, dummy.
You want to respond to Jason?
I'm glad that the feminist movement has gained as much traction as it has.
All right. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate that. We have Chef Dill Pickles coming in here. Thank you for that, Chef Dill Pickles. Appreciate it.
Chef Dill Pickles donated $99. Feminist, would you say it's about 13% of the fathers leaving?
The last stat I have is 1 in 4 households are fatherless. So that sounds about 25%.
All right. We have Ogle coming in here. Dill Pickles, thank you for that question. We got Ogle. If you guys want to get a chat in, it's $100, $99 TTS. Thank you, Ogle.
Ogle_glue.net donated $100. Fella on the right has a good heart, it's in the right place, but his brain isn't working properly, unfortunately. Hopefully today's talk at least gives him food for thought over the next few weeks.
All right, Ogle, thank you so much.
I appreciate the half compliment. I mean, I'm not a debater, but I literally am here to try to help people get out of depression and get out of the red pill space. That's what I'm trying to do.
All right. We have Ogle, thanks again. We have Stream Rift here. Thank you, Stream Rift.
Stream Rift donated $100. 2 attorneys, a law firm, and a sitting judge violated the law to intentionally keep me, a dad, away from my disabled daughter. KIKI for blaming men, Eastern District of Virginia, :1:25 CVO 0572.
I just want to be clear. That sucks, man. That sucks. Like, you can't be with a child. I don't know the whole situation. I want to be clear. I'm not blaming all men, but I'm saying that you can't blame single mothers when you're not looking at the fathers too.
All right, Stream Riff, sorry to hear about your situation, and he included the case number 2. Lulu here, thank you, appreciate it.
Lulu donated $100. Can this guy debate in good faith instead of resorting to this just my stance? The end? You came on this podcast to debate, so do it. When you can't defend when your ideas are challenged, why you here?
Okay. Yeah. So no, I came here with an agenda for sure. I'm not the best debater. This is only my second debate ever. So yeah, maybe I mess up on some logic, but I am here with an agenda to try to help people get out of the red pill. That's all I'm doing.
All right. We have Christopher Scott here.
Christopher Scott donated $100. This dude is such a petulant child. No, I'm not gonna answer. Butterfly logic. Quit whining, kitten.
You want to? Oh, it said pussy, but it automatically changes it. I don't know why, Christopher. Do you want to respond to Christopher?
Nah.
You're good. Okay. Can you pop the doors open? And there's I know you said you were hot. There's an ice pack there for you if you need it or not.
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. Mary, just grab that ice pack once you get a moment. All right. And then we have some super chats we need to get to. Guys,
it could be I'm red. I have the Asian flush from the whiskey.
I think the whiskey might have heated you up.
I got the Asian flush. Did I get the Asian flush?
Well, you're Irish, right? Mm-hmm. They're kind of Asian.
Yeah, well, they call it the Asian flush.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've heard of that. Mm-hmm. All right, we have emotional damage. I once knew a guy who talked, Mary, just on the corner of the table here. If you
can I read this?
Yeah, go for it.
I once knew a guy talk like this dummy. He's now divorced and happily broke while his wife is living in his house and driving his car. He still feels content in his life because he gets to pay her.
Can you take that one?
Because he gets to pay her half of his salary, lost custody of his kids. Such a proud feminist.
Emotional damage. Good to see you in the chat. Thank you.
Sad for that guy, but I'm happily married, and I don't see that as my outcome.
How long you been married for?
Coming up on 3 years. Together about 8 or 9.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And may you have many children that your wife can determine whether she wants to abort.
We don't want children, but we're not worried about that.
That's not. Why am I not shocked? Are you an antinatalist?
No.
No. Okay. All right.
We have Lucas here. It looks like there's a string of them. One, what? The concept of submission outlined in Ephesians 5:22, wives, submit yourselves to your own husband as you do to the Lord, is not pertinent to intersexual dynamics, ? Oh, but wait, only in your small circle, Andrew. That small circle representing 62%
of the population.
Of the U.S. population. This guy is a woke clown, but let me guess, Kamala voter?
Yes.
Or did you vote?
Definitely
voted Kamala.
100%.
Sorry, champ. My wife and I vote MAGA unapologetically.
Good-looking wife, by the way, Lucas.
Hey, Lucas is, he's
going to have some good-looking kids.
Yeah. Yeah. See, he's married. He watches they watch the podcast together.
That's good. Would you say most of your audience is married?
Most of mine is.
I know. I heard you say that
Would
stat.
you say that she is a misogynist?
I won't. I don't know anything about her.
Is Lucas
I don't know anything about
Let
her.
me caveat it. It may not be most of them are married, but most of them are in marriageable age, and a significant portion is married.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Do you think of the content creators that we're talking about, including the audience here, would you say most of them are married or in a relationship, or would you say the majority aren't?
Of the viewers?
Yeah.
I haven't polled them. I wouldn't know.
Do you have like,
I'll go ahead and grant. Probably the majority of them probably aren't married. Why would that matter?
or in a relationship?
I don't know. I haven't polled my audience.
I mean, we're kind of about to reach a threshold soon where most of the population is not going to be married or in a
But
relationship.
the whole point that I'm trying to make is that I think red pill content is furthering that divide.
Yeah,
because
but
it makes people not want to
Actually,
date.
I wanted to
Wait,
oh,
let me
yeah,
just finish
damn
the
it.
chats. But
all right,
just if you want, just write a note and
All
then
right.
we'll get it in. Oh wait, I need to finish Lucas's. Hold on. Ogle, I'll come back to that one in just a moment. Let me finish up Lucas's. So, Sir Simpalot, can you square this circle for me? I'm a happily married, red-pilled Christian nationalist MAGA voter.
so based.
So is my wife. So is my wife, by the way, on each of the preceding fronts, and yet, according to you, I'm a radicalized, miserable incel loner misogynist. Do you want to respond to that?
I would love to. The studies show that most people who consume red pill content are becoming isolated, angry, mad at women, and they're dating less. You are an exception.
Yeah.
Could you say the same about like feminism, though?
Which
Like,
of
most
the
women
studies show that, by the way?
All the ones I gave you.
The case of misuse of evolutionary psychology in online manosphere communities.
Yep.
The case for female.
All of them. All three things I just cited, different studies.
Yeah.
have said
Can you
that.
tell me though? You didn't put in who the people were for the studies, because oftentimes.
You can click. I'll send you the electronic file
Well,
if you want.
have you heard
click the link.
of what's called publishing bias?
Sure. Let's not trust stats.
No, it's not. It's not about that. Listen, hear me out here.
Okay.
There's something called the replication crisis. You ever heard of that? The replication crisis?
No.
When you go back to redo sociology studies, the vast majority of them can't be replicated.
Okay.
The vast majority, and that would be psychology and sociology. Would you say that these studies that you gave me are mostly sociological?
Yes.
Okay. And would therefore suffer from the replication crisis. And that would mean that there's a good possibility that up to 60% of what you just gave me here will never be replicated.
I think when you have so many studies saying similar things, I don't think that's an issue. I also think that you can grant that most of the red pill community are potential, like incels. There's a Venn diagram of people in the red pill
But
community.
that's where publishing bias comes in.
But hold on. In the red pill community, incels are a big part of the red pill community.
What is an incel?
Someone who's involuntarily celibate,
Meaning they can't have sex?
even though they'd like to.
Okay, so they can't get a hooker?
I guess, but maybe they don't want to. Maybe they want a real
so then
relationship.
they're not involuntarily celibate?
Do you not believe in incels?
So they're not involuntarily
Do you not
celibate?
believe in
Well,
incels?
I'm asking you a question. Why are you
You're asking me a stupid question.
No.
Do you not
If
believe in incels?
Can an incel buy a hooker?
Sure.
Okay, and you say they don't want to.
Potentially.
So how are they involuntarily celibate?
You think they should buy a hooker?
No, I'm asking how they're involuntarily celibate.
Because they can't get someone to date them, Andrew.
But that wouldn't be, I'm sorry, what does celibacy mean?
This is the same bullshit you do.
It's
What
really-
are we
it's
talking about?
super important
If you
for
don't
us to-
acknowledge that incels are real, just say that. But don't try to play this game.
No,
Don't
I'm
play
trying to
debate
make
club with
sure-
me. Don't